The marketplace thrived, its energy chaotic, brimming with transactions and voices tangled like the threads of a tapestry. Sudhira stood among the traders, his harsh voice rising above the hum, scolding his young apprentice without mercy. The boy shrank under Sudhira's rage, trembling as his eyes darted to the grains scattered beneath their feet. A group of monks passed nearby, their orange robes a stark contrast to the murky hues of the marketplace. At the front walked Budda, his presence serene, radiating calm that seemed to part the noise around him. He paused, his eyes resting gently on Sudhira, observing the anger that gripped the man so tightly. Budda's voice was steady as he spoke, his tone soft yet commanding attention amid the chaos of the day. "Good man," Budda addressed Sudhira, "what has caused this fire within you to burn so fiercely here today?" Sudhira turned, startled by the interruption, but his expression softened under Budda's calm, unyielding gaze. "The boy spilled grains upon the ground," Sudhira responded sharply, his frustration brimming. "He must learn to respect his work." Budda inclined his head slightly, regarding the spilled grains as if they held the secrets of the universe. "Do grains, once fallen, become irretrievable?" Budda asked, his words simple but deliberate. "Or is their scattering merely an opportunity to gather again?" Sudhira frowned, the anger lingering but his mind stirred by the simplicity of Budda's question, which carried hidden wisdom. "Discipline must be taught, Master," Sudhira replied, his tone less fierce, "and mistakes are corrected through firm words and clear lessons." Budda gestured to the apprentice, whose cheeks burned with shame under his master's angry tirade. "This boy's spirit is young and impressionable," Budda said softly, "and anger wounds it deeper than a misplaced hand." Sudhira faltered, his anger trembling beneath Budda's gentle yet resolute words that pierced through the storm in his heart. "Master, then how should he learn?" Sudhira questioned, his tone tinged with the vulnerability of a man seeking understanding. Budda knelt beside the scattered grains, his movements unhurried, as though each action held an eternal significance. "Gather these grains with me, Sudhira," Budda offered, his voice unchanging, "and we shall teach him discipline through understanding and action." Sudhira hesitated but joined Budda on the ground, his knees pressing into the earth as he mirrored the monk's motions. Budda's hands moved gracefully, collecting the grains one by one, as though handling fragments of life's delicate truths. "Anger arises from attachment," Budda began, his voice weaving through the marketplace like silk. "We cling to ideals and fear their disruption." Sudhira listened, his movements slowing as Budda's words drew him into a rhythm of reflection and steady purpose. "Unmet expectations ignite anger," Budda continued, "and fear feeds the flame that burns those who shout louder than others." Sudhira glanced at his apprentice, who now knelt beside them, joining the task of gathering as Budda guided them with patience. "Teach through action," Budda said, lifting his gaze to meet Sudhira's. "Mistakes are moments to show compassion and lead by example." The grains gathered, a pile once scattered, restored by the quiet unity of their movements and the clarity Budda instilled. Sudhira breathed deeply, his chest no longer tight. His voice softened as he turned to his apprentice and spoke kindly. "My anger was misplaced," Sudhira admitted, his words carrying the weight of humility. "Let us continue our work together with care." Budda rose, his robes catching the light, and bowed his head to Sudhira as if acknowledging the spark of change within him. Sudhira's apprentice met Budda's gaze, his heart touched by the monk's calm and his master's newfound gentleness. The marketplace hummed once more, but Sudhira's stall became a haven of quiet resolve, its energy transformed by Budda's presence. As Budda walked away, his disciples followed in silent accord, and the grains of wisdom spread unseen like seeds in the wind. The cycle of shouting, the echo of anger, had been gently interrupted through the harmony of compassion and calm discipline. The marketplace witnessed this subtle moment, and though it returned to its usual chaos, traces of Buddha's teachings lingered unseen. Sudhira stood taller, his voice softer, as he worked alongside his apprentice. The lesson etched deeply within his heart. Buddha's words, simple and profound, continued to ripple quietly through the lives of those who'd seen and heard. Another day, another village, where life unfolded in rhythm, its quiet struggles hidden beneath smiles and relentless daily labor. Leela sat in her modest home, her tears falling as her son's raised voice echoed painfully through the small space. The child imitated his father, who shouted often, their home filled with tension that silenced joy and deepened Leela's sorrow. Leela knew of Buddha's presence in the nearby village and resolved to seek his wisdom for her family's troubled hearts. Walking through the fields, Leela's pace quickened as her hope clung to the idea of finding a way to heal. She approached the great banyan tree where Buddha sat. His disciples gathered around, the air hushed with reverent calm. Leela bowed low, her voice trembling as she spoke. "Master, my family suffers under the echo of anger's shadow." Buddha gestured for her to sit, his gaze holding the weight of understanding and compassion. "Tell me of your sorrow. My husband's shouting fills our home, and now my child mimics him. The cycle feels endless," Leela confessed with despair. Buddha listened, his silence welcoming her pain and his presence like a balm easing the weight in her heavy heart. Anger spreads like flame, consuming those closest to it. Buddha began, his voice steady, but the fire can be quenched. Leela's tears continued as she whispered, "Master, I feel powerless before this cycle. How can I stop the raging fire?" Buddha inclined his head slightly, his fingers resting gently on the earth. "First, you must find the calm within yourself." Leela shook her head, frustration mingling with grief. "Master, I do not know how to silence my own boiling heart." Buddha's smile was soft yet profound. "Imagine a pot of water heated by flames. What happens if the fuel is removed?" "It cools," Leela replied, her voice barely audible, the concept offering a distant glimmer of clarity amid her swirling emotions. "Remove the fuel," Buddha said, his tone carrying assurance. "Pause, breathe deeply, and choose silence when anger stirs within you." "But Master, silence feels impossible in the moment when emotions are loud and overwhelming," Leela admitted. With trembling uncertainty, Buddha gestured to his disciples who watched nearby. Their calm unwavering, their lives shaped by practice and conscious restraint. "Practice is the key," Buddha explained. "Calm is not immediate but grows through effort, like a seed nurtured to become strong." Leela nodded, her resolve strengthening, though doubts lingered. "Master, how will this silence break the cycle my child has learned?" "Children are mirrors, Leela," Buddha answered gently. "They reflect what they see and learn most from actions rather than words." Leela's breath caught, her mother's heart aching with both hope and fear. "If I grow calm, will he also learn calm?" Buddha's gaze softened further. "Your child will see the stillness in you, and his shouting will lose its reason to persist." "Master, what if the storms at home overwhelm me before I find this calm?" Leela asked, her voice filled with worry. Buddha's tone remained unwavering. "When overwhelmed, retreat to silence as one might seek shelter from rain. Find strength in the pause." Leela spent the following days practicing Buddha's teaching, faltering often but persisting, the effort shaping her presence in subtle ways. Her household, though still marked by moments of anger, began to feel quieter, its air less suffocating, her child's voice softer. Leela observed her son closely, noticing how his shouting lessened as her own calm grew. the mirror shifting its reflection. When her husband's anger flared, Leela paused, breathed deeply, and responded with quiet steadiness, her presence influencing even him over time. The banyan tree stood steadfast in the village, as did Buddha's teachings within Leela's home, its roots spreading unseen but deep. Leela returned to Buddha, bowing low again, this time with gratitude heavy in her voice. Master, my family begins to change. Buddha smiled, the lightness of compassion within him reaching beyond words. You have planted seeds of peace, and they will grow. Leela's heart felt lighter, the path before her clearer, though she knew the effort required would remain unyielding yet worthwhile. Buddha watched her leave, his gaze filled with serenity, as ripples of his teachings moved outward with her steps. Another day, another sunrise, as light stretched across the fields, waking the village to its quiet labor and subtle struggles. Ravi approached Buddha's gathering, his steps weighted by doubt, yet his face carried the determination of one seeking deeper understanding. The banyan tree towered over the village's center, its roots spreading outward like the reach of Buddha's teachings to countless hearts. Ravi bowed before Buddha, his voice steady but solemn. Master, I strive for calm, but life's trials overwhelm my resolve. Buddha regarded Ravi thoughtfully, his gaze both gentle and penetrating as he sensed the sincerity within the young man's heart. Tell me, Ravi, Buddha asked, his tone inviting honesty. What trials have come before you? And how have they shaken you? Ravi hesitated, then began. I face hardship, expectations, and failure. My efforts to calm my anger crumble under life's fierce winds. Buddha's smile was knowing, his presence unwavering as he gestured to the distant mountain rising beyond the fields. Do you see it? Ravi's eyes followed Buddha's hand, resting on the site of the great peak standing firm amidst the clouds and storms. The mountain is unmoved by the winds and rains that surround it, Buddha explained. It remains steadfast, its core unyielding. Ravi listened intently, his heart stirred by the simple metaphor, its depth already reaching into his troubled, searching mind. Master, how can I become like the mountain when my efforts feel small and my storms grow stronger each day? Buddha inclined his head slightly, his voice calm as he spoke. Begin with small stones. Build your foundation step by step. Ravi frowned, his frustration evident. But, Master, the stones feel insignificant when the winds threaten to destroy everything I construct. Even the mountain begins as small stones, Buddha said, his words deliberate. Each stone strengthens the whole. Even when storms rage, Ravi's eyes returned to the mountain, its silent strength inspiring hope. Though his doubts lingered, how do I gather these stones? Buddha's tone remained steady. Each act of restraint, each moment of calm, adds to your foundation. These efforts are your stones. But, Master, how do I resist anger when the storm feels too strong to withstand? Ravi asked, his voice trembling. Pause and breathe, Buddha replied. Anchor yourself in the present. Let the storm pass before acting, as the mountain does. Ravi nodded slowly, his mind beginning to grasp the concept, though he felt the weight of the practice ahead of him. Master, does the mountain not falter under years of storms? Ravi questioned, his voice tinged with worry and lingering doubt. Buddha's gaze softened further. The storms shape the mountain, carving it with time and pressure. Yet its essence remains unbroken. Ravi's heart stirred again, the metaphor resonating deeply as he considered how trials could strengthen rather than diminish his resolve. Buddha gestured to his disciples, their presence calm and steadfast, the fruits of their practice evident in their serene demeanor. These disciples began as stones. Buddha explained, through effort and patience, they have built their foundation and now stand firm together. Ravi watched them closely, his doubts lessening as he saw in their example the possibility of growth and unyielding calm. Master, how long will it take to build my foundation strong enough to endure life's storms? Ravi asked, his tone uncertain. Time is only a measure of patience, Buddha said. His voice steady. Each step forward is a mark of progress. Ravi nodded again, his determination growing as the metaphor of the mountain took root within him, inspiring his heart to persist. In the days that followed, Ravi practiced Buddha's teachings, faltering often but reflecting with each mistake. His understanding deepening with effort, he paused during moments of anger, breathing deeply, and though his restraint was imperfect, he noticed the calm growing within him. Ravi gathered his small stones, slowly building his foundation, each act of restraint adding strength to his inner mountain's silent core. The storms of life continued to test him, but Ravi felt their force less, his practice shielding him in subtle ways. The banyan tree stood as a witness, its roots spreading alongside Ravi's growing resilience, the teachings branching outward like ripples unseen. Ravi returned to Buddha, bowing once more, his voice steady as he spoke. Master, I feel the strength growing within. Buddha smiled, his compassion radiant, his presence unwavering as he answered, you have begun to build your mountain, and it stands firm. Ravi's heart lightened, though he knew the path ahead would remain long, the effort challenging but filled with worthwhile purpose. Buddha watched Ravi leave, his steps lighter, the lessons spreading beyond him as ripples carried the teachings to others unseen. The mountain rose as a symbol of strength, its silent endurance reflecting the power of calm discipline in life's endless storms. To raise a child, the Buddha concluded, is to sow the seeds of a compassionate world, one heart at a time. The disciples bowed deeply, their spirits enriched by the profound simplicity of the Buddha's wisdom. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.